everything's looking good. Electrics have been checked. I checked the fuel, make sure the control surfaces are fine. There's basically quite a detailed walkthrough that when you fly a Cirrus, you get taught to do. But you see, I'm not actually taking off for about an hour still because I want to go and do a quick briefing with my instructor, Mike Warden, before we fly Kilo Juliet November. And that's because today's flight, well, it's a little bit different to the flights that I've done on this channel before in that there's a slightly heightened element of risk involved. So that element of risk I mentioned, hair's annoying me, hang on. That element of risk is that we're actually doing a long overwater flight today. Now, I've wanted to fly to Tasmania for a long time. I wanted to go throughout pretty much the whole of winter, cancelled 3 times because of low freezing levels, which I couldn't get through. And KJN here isn't certified to fly into known icing, so we can't fly when we know there's going to be icing. Today, however, beautiful blue skies. Well, there's a bit of cloud, but it's going. High temperatures, freezing level above 10,000 feet, so why not go to Tassie? So I'm going to go chat to Mike now and do a bit of a briefing about that long overwater flight. Then I'll jump back in KJN, and once we're up and flying, yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what I do to prepare for these long overwater flights when there's nothing below you but, well, very cold, wet.
Wait for this guy to go through. I don't generally like flying right underneath someone when they're just coming into final, but he is clear now, so I'll keep going.
Kilo Juliet November, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Kilo Juliet November. Alright, full power,
Moorabbin
nice and straight.
Code for Par Delta, ready runway 17 left for a crossing departure to trade now.
Static on him is good.
Line up.
Airspeed's increasing. On both. T's and P's are green, 70 knots. Outside air temperature is 14 degrees, so no problems with cloud. Alright, levelled off at 7,000. I'm just leaning out the engine now. Just so we can maintain our best fuel economy. And they were all nicely leaned out, so I'm just going to do another check, left to right, top to bottom as usual. Checking our speed, ground speed of 175. We've actually got about an 11 knot tailwind at the moment, which is perfect. That's very good. I can look up our next frequency. After 1200, it's going to be 1303. So I'll pop that into here now. And then we're just going to sit back and wait until we get closer to the coastline, and then over the mighty Bass, well, not really the mighty, it's not known as the mighty Bass Strait, but for the purposes of drama on YouTube, the mighty Bass Strait. And I was talking about preparation earlier. Now, I normally carry most of these things with me anyhow, but I have survival kit. I've obviously got water, I've obviously got rations and food, etc. And that's fine if you're putting the aircraft down and you're on land and people might not come to you for a while. But a couple of additional things flying over water. I've obviously got a life jacket. Now, you may think, well, hang on, why aren't you wearing your life jacket? Well, there's no legal requirement to wear a life jacket on this flight that we're doing today. I won't get into the specifics because I don't want to talk about the legalities of it, but suffice to say, it's based on your altitude, the type of flying that you're doing, but we're a private flight at 7,000 feet. We do not require, well, I don't need to wear the life jacket. However, I do have to have one. And I've been trained in how to use this. I know how to get the life jacket quickly if we need to. So if there's a problem and I need to glide down, yes, it may be advantageous to already have the life jacket on. It's one less thing to think about, but I don't have access to one of those. Just on a side note as well, I did try and find, and I put a tweet out about this on my Twitter account as well. I tried to find a retailer here in Australia who would do a CASA approved life jacket that you can wear and then just pull the toggle to inflate. Couldn't find anyone in Australia who did that. I'd have to buy one overseas. So if you know anywhere I could get one, please let me know in the comments below. Life raft, again, legally, and look up the requirements, check with your instructor, but for this flight, the way that we're doing it, it's all to do with the distance from land, and the distance is measured in terms of the actual nautical miles, but also the time it would take to get you to land. So because we're not above the limitations, we do not require a life raft on board on this particular flight.
November, contact centre 130.3.
130.3, Kilo Juliet November. I wonder who's working the Bass Strait today. 11 Center, Kilo Juliet November, maintaining 7,000.
Kilo Juliet November, Santa G'day.
G'day. We're just about now, yep, just about to cross the coastline and start that 77-mile hop. Well, it's not really a hop, is it? But anyway, we're just about to cross the Bass Strait. This low stratus overcast just below us now that we're coming over, which is kind of good because it means you can't see the water. It also looks very soft and fluffy, and I know, but this is quite nice flying over this now. I also, in about 15 minutes am due a tank change from the left across to the right. The tanks are pretty much equally balanced at the moment, so it's just drawing fuel off the left tank right now. But I'm not going to do that until we get overhead Flinders Island Airport. And I would much rather accept a small imbalance on the tanks. You know, nothing silly, we're not going to be like that obviously, but a small imbalance in the tanks rather than change the tanks now, which I'm sure will be fine, but when we're over water we don't have really as many options. So I'm going to wait until we're over Flinders Island Airport, which we should be there in about 20 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and cows, Flinders Island. Land ahoy. Man, that's a good sight. That is a good sight. Now we're just going to fly down the side of Flinders Island, overhead the airport, hook a right, technical aviation language, hook a right, and then head towards Tasmania. There's another overwater leg between the bottom of Flinders Island and Tasmania, but it's only a short one. As I was just calculating, it's just 18 nautical miles, so it's nowhere near the 77 that we just did beforehand. But we're still going to be mindful of the fact we're still flying over water. But in terms of gliding distance to land, we're now back within gliding distance to land. And the wind's coming from our right, so this is absolutely perfect. It will push us over there if we need it. Hello Flinders Island, and hello Tasmania. Now we're over land, or we got land to our left, we can do our fuel tank change. So, fuel pump to boost, give it a second, check everything's stable, across to the right tank, and pump goes off, and then I'm just going to mark those down. So we got 33 gallons on the left, 39 on the right, and the time was 4:05. None per to Karen, track should be 173. Yeah, Kilo Juliet November's taking up a track of 173, so that concurs. And yeah, I can let KJ in do the flying and the navigating. I can monitor it and make sure she's doing the right thing. But then I can also do important things like planning ahead, working out what to do next, engine management, systems management, talking to air traffic control, and planning ahead just in case anything happens. For example, now we're going back on our second overwater leg. This is the second bit now between the end of Flinders Island and mainland Hobart. Well, mainland Hobart. Mainland Tasmania, which I can see directly ahead. I see some clouds as well, so we might get a bit of IMC as we're heading towards it, but yeah, we might be above it. We'll see. Get a little bit of real IMC again in a second. We've got to descend pretty soon, so there's no point me climbing up just to go down, and this one should be okay to go through. Checking the outside air temperature as always, 9 degrees, don't need pitot heat. Might be a few bumps through it, but never gets old. The other thing we can do is obviously request deviations a little bit left and right. So if there was one particular big build up in the middle, we can request to go around it, but I didn't feel it was necessary on this occasion. If I had a passenger, I probably would have climbed up actually just to get around that, but on my own, I'm not as bothered. Alright, looks like we're through the worst of the cloud. Still a bit of turbulence now, just coming up over these hills as well. It's not the best level to be at. I think 9,000 would have been better down here.
Kilo Juliet November, you're clearance when you're ready?
I'm ready, Kilo Juliet November.
Kilo Juliet November, reclear direct to Tasm, maintain 6,500.
Clear direct Tasm, maintain 6,500, Kilo Juliet November.
5,500.
We're being vectored around quite a bit. There's some other jets coming in, so we've been asked, instead of going on a straight line, I've kind of gone out to a waypoint.
Bravo Tango Oscar.
Come back in, going down.
Cleared.
Kilo Juliet November, 25 miles Tasm.
Kilo Juliet November, descend to 4,600 and report wind visual.
Descend 4,600, Kilo Juliet November.
Qantas 1013, midfield wind is 120 degrees at 9 knots, runway 12 Hobart, clear to land.
Runway 12 clear to land, Qantas 1030.
Make sure I'm visual under this cloud. Kilo Juliet November is visual.
Kilo Juliet November, cleared visual approach for runway 12 Cambridge to join a 5 mile final 12 Cambridge.
Cleared visual approach, runway 12, 5 mile final, Kilo Juliet November.
Kilo Juliet November, there is 2 aircraft operating the circuit, reporting 5 mile final.
Kilo Juliet November. Alright, let's get the autopilot off. Slow us down a little.
Kilo Juliet November, you present level?
Passing 5,100, Kilo Juliet November.
Kilo Juliet November, thanks.
Brakes, undercarriage sound lock, mixture full rich. Fuel pump on, instruments all checked. We're secure on the right.
Kilo Juliet November, number 3 here, following a Cessna. They're just about to turn a right base, and you can make a right turn there to join final parallel runway 1 and 2 to square it off.
Copy that, Kilo Juliet November, looking for traffic.
You'll be low in your 12 o'clock, just about in the turn now.
Kilo Juliet November, still looking, just confirming I'm good for a straight in, runway 12 here.
AFM straight in 12, you might have to pull speed back a little bit. The Cessna's low, probably about your 12:30.
Copied, slowing down and looking, Kilo Juliet November.
Kilo Juliet November becoming number 1, the one ahead's on a very short final.
Got him in sight, thanks, Kilo Juliet November. Confirming clear to land, Kilo Juliet November.
Kilo Juliet November, sorry, Cambridge, no requirement. Leader, just report clear of all runways.
Copy that, Kilo Juliet November, thanks.
Juliet November. Do you need any guidance at Cambridge?
A-firm taxi instructions to the Bowser would be great. Kilo Juliet November.
Kilo Juliet November. Okay, I'll put you onto the taxi lane at the end of the runway, vacate to the left, and then all the way up there to the apron. When you get to the apron, if you look to the left, you'll see a Par Avion sign. You go in via that, you should find the Bowsers in there somewhere. If you can't, go into that hangar, they'll help you.
Copy that, thank you. Making a left turn and Kilo Juliet November, clear of all runways.
Alright, Kilo Juliet November, all tied up, safe. I think this is where I get the Uber from. Yeah, is this him? That's not my Uber. That's just someone in a car. Thank you. Oh, really? Nothing? Managed to come to Hobart and not bring any socks.